So, as I understand it, you trained as a medical
Yes.
doctor, and then what happened? You became restless.
I went totally into the conventional model.
Yeah.
And I thought that the conventional model of medicine was the right way to go and would answer all the questions that I had. Of course, I was starting to think about the mind-body stuff already, but I actually was totally caught up into that paradigm of treating disease
Okay. Yeah.
rather than healing a person.
Yeah.
That came much later.
Okay.
But treating disease, I was totally caught up into that image. I thought that was what medicine was about. Eventually, I specialized in gastroenterology in Miami, Florida. People said to me, go to America because you can live your dream. And I had lots of dreams then. I was 28, I think. First thing I did was buy my Mustang.
Huh?
I bought a couple of boats. This is Miami. And I started to live my dream. It took me 7 months to live my dream. And I realized then that my dream was not worth much. I was still unhappy. And this unhappiness kept coming up for me. And I knew that there was something more to life. I knew that I had to find it. I'd involved myself with so many unusual things. But one thing that really also fascinated me was I went to see a lady who could speak to the dead. I was astonished at messages that she was giving to the people because I saw that they knew exactly what she was talking about. Here was a lady who said she was talking to the dead, was obviously talking to something that these people knew,
But nobody could see.
but nobody could see. I became very interested in medicine with the placebo response. And the recognition that a sugar-coated pill could often give a better result than a drug. I wrote papers on the placebo response because I was so fascinated that people responded to a placebo.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
And sometimes the placebo response was much better than the drug. I mean, the placebo response varied between 8 and 81%. Well, there's no drug that could beat 81%. So these were a lot of fascinating things because somehow the placebo response pointed to meaning, to the meaning that people gave to the medicines. Then I had a patient who had a spontaneous remission of cancer. You know, he had spread all over his body and he fell in love and the cancer disappeared. So there were all these kinds of magical things in my life that kept happening over and over again that pointed to something
That Florida couldn't answer.
There were unanswers there. When I went to America to live my dream, and I did everything that I wanted to do and I was still unhappy, it pointed to something back inside myself that I needed to really discover. And I knew then that what I wanted to do was to find out what this mystery was. What was this mystery?
Okay.
And where was the mystery? Was it inside the head somehow? Or was it inside matter, the
Which
body?
bit of anatomy
And was there
hid
was
the
there
mystery?
God?
Yeah.
Was there angels? Were there soul spirits? All these words that everybody uses became a kind of curiosity for me. Everybody spoke about the soul, then what were they talking about? People talked about God. What were they talking about? That became my mission in life, in a way, to try and find out what is it that people are talking about. You know, for me, everywhere when I look, even now, there is this mystery. There is songs that have been sung by the rocks and the trees, and I want to know the language of it.